Hey everyone, I hope you can hear me. I know it's quite breezy up here. I'm on the Lakeland Heritage Trail. That is Derwentwater. I'm sure you'd recognise that. Any fans of the Lake District? And I'm about, well, I set off on this hike quite late because of trains and buses to get here. So I got the train at 9 to Windermere, and there was an hour gap between stops, which was strange at Oxenholme, but I got some food that's really nice. So I actually ended up getting into Keswick just before 2, set off on my walk about 2:15, so quite late to start, considering I set off, well, I got the train at 9 and it's currently 4:30, so I've got an hour left of sunlight. I'm just kind of on the look for any wild camping spots, really. I'm not rushing myself too much. I'm going to aim to find one within the hour, but I know I've jinxed it in the past saying that. So just walk a bit further, I reckon about another half hour or something. I've only done roughly 4 miles, or just over 4 miles so far, despite setting off at 1:45 and it's now 4:30 and I've only done 4 miles. I've been stopping and starting. I am quite out of practice, I'd say. The first incline about not even 15 minutes in, I had to catch my breath and it wasn't even that much of an incline, so I was like, wow, I am out of shape, which I am. So this is me getting back into hiking. It's February the 23rd and I've not done a proper hike since, I don't know, actually August, September. I've been to the lakes November and December, but I've done only like small day hikes in those times. So it's been quite a while, been a few months, and it's felt weird. I've had a lot of anxiety in the past few months, and you know, that's come back, which isn't good. And I'm not sure what's triggered it. Probably, again, if you've watched the last video, well, the video of me in the lakes in December or November, one of them, I kind of have a breakdown on camera and explain the whole my old job situation, but that's old news now. That was nearly half a year ago. I've got a really good job now, so I'm happy about that. So I'm not sure why the anxiety's kicked in again, you know, panic attacks and things. So I just figured I'd be very open and honest about this stuff, because it's just because I like to be transparent. Sorry, I'm facing this way because of the wind. I should really be walking, but I want to make sure you can hear everything. So I just want to, like I said, make sure I'm being very transparent, honest as to why I do these things. And I think it's important for other people to hear, because this is exactly why I do these things, and because, you know, it's gorgeous, lovely views. I know it looks quite brown on the screen right now because I have to face this way. I don't think the wind's too bad right now. Anyway, so more about the trail that I'm on. Like I said, it's a Lakeland Heritage Trail, and it's a circular route around Derwentwater, which is this. Starts in Keswick, just down there. You can go either way. You can go around the lake edge first, all the way down to Grange and Rosswaite, and then come up here and do the high bit. I'll put it on the screen now, but I'm doing it clockwise, getting the high bits done first, and then tomorrow I will be descending down and walking around Derwentwater that way. So, you know, going into Grange and everything, which will be nice. Oh god, it's the wind, honestly. So it says it's about 16 miles, and I'm splitting it into 2 days because, well, I started this late and I'm not going to do 16 miles in 4 hours. Like, I'm just not going to do that, especially now I'm out of practice. So I'm only going to aim for about maybe 4 to 5 miles today, which is fine, and do the rest tomorrow. Or potentially, if I really wanted to take my time with it, which I very much can, I can split it into 3 days, because I don't have to be back till Sunday at the latest, and it's currently Thursday, so I can do that if I want. It's really flexible. I've picked a nice kind of easy one for myself to start out with again. I feel like I've reverted back to like being an amateur, honestly. I'm not, I know I'm not, but because it's been about 2-3 months since I've done something like this, and even longer since I've done a long distance trail. So it's yeah, feels weird, but good weird. It's like, oh, back into it after a long break. But you know, a few reasons why I didn't do it over the winter, mainly because of the cold, the short days and the long nights. I just thought February is a good month to start doing it again. You know, end of February like it is now, where sunset's about 5:30. So very much doable, and even though the temperature's dropped now and it's quite bitter out, you know, my hands are quite cold. It was fairly warm earlier, to be honest. Around midday it was really sunny before as well. These clouds have just come out of nowhere. It was dead clear, and it had to have been clear, you know, when I was on the train and not when I'm out walking. But when I got off, let's see, when I got into Windermere, it was about 7 degrees, I think, which I know isn't warm, but it's, you know, February. That's warm for February in the UK anyway. I'll stop rambling and I'll just let you enjoy the views as I go. Okay, it's 5:30 exactly, and I've just found quite a good spot here, nice and flat, very hidden. There's a road about 20, 30 metres that way, maybe, over the mound and everything, so I'm away from it, and got a view of some trees in Derwentwater between the trees. And there's like a hotel down there or something. You can hear the waterfalls. I put in what the waterfalls are called because I don't know off the top of my head, but they're down there somewhere that I can hear. It took quite a bit of walking to get here, so I think it's quite out the way. Hope it is anyway. You know, if there's night hikers, there's night hikers, as long as they're friendly. Okay, so now my tent's up. It only took about 7 minutes. I'm just going to quickly scout the area to just have a look about and just reassure myself. I'm not like super nervous or anything, but it's always better just to check your surroundings before you get ready for bed and food. So I'll check this area first. So it's getting pretty dark now. I'm glad my tent's up. Have a little look around. Yeah, that looks all good. The road is... where is it? I think it's just over there. So there's quite a bit of ground and shelter between there. You can't see that from the road because when I stand there I can't see the road. I'll just check up here. Looks good. There's a van with a couple in down there. I think it's a couple anyway, I could see them from a distance. They were sitting on a bench all the way down there, so assuming that's them. The van's probably wild camping in its own right, which is what I want to do at some point when I get driving. Get a van deck it out so I can not only wild camp in a tent but wild park, I suppose, whatever it's called, wherever I want. Like, this is a really good place for it, actually. Doesn't get much traffic. I'm not seeing a car come by. I'll get my sleeping mat and sleeping bag set up and then make some food and get cozy. It's only about 20 to 6, so it's still quite early. Just doesn't look it because we're in February. Okay, it's 8:30 and I've just packed away, and there's my bag with everything that I'm just going to put in. I'm going to do a bit of makeup and then set off, and I just thought I'd show you where I pitched. So this is the pitch, so as you can see, leave no trace, and for the surrounding areas as well, other than, you know, that's my bag which I'm taking with me. Leave no trace, leave no rubbish, no scorched ground. If you're having a fire, try have them off ground or in a designated fire pit, other than a bit of flattened moss and flattened twigs. Yeah, that's it, leave no trace. And as you can see, this is the path, but like, this is a very not frequently used path, and I can tell because like there was no one up here yesterday. There's been no one up here the whole time, and that's the only pathy bit that it looks like a path, because up there it kind of disappears and up there it kind of disappears, so it's just kind of this area here. It's not even the main path. The main path is by the road all the way over there. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how cute this is and how pretty it is around here. Nice view of Derwentwater. It's very cloudy today, but as is in the UK, and I'm just loving how mossy this all is. It's just so much moss. And if you know me, you know that I'm like obsessed with moss. And yeah, this is a tiny little path that snakes round and down to the road to the other path. So it's like a little nice hidden area. So do a little bit of makeup, you know, so I feel a bit better and fresh faced. And then see what happens today. I think the plan is to go, you know what, I'll just put the map on the screen. Go down descend into Grange and down to Castle Crag and do the loop, and then come back up and through Grange again and to Manistee, and then depending on if I just want to, because I'm thinking of doing this in 3 days, you know, like really taking my time with it. So I could just stay around the Manistee area or continue along the lake's edge, but I might just save that for tomorrow. I'll see how I feel. So that's the plan. Started off in really good spirits because this place feels so cool. It looks amazing, it feels amazing. It's like a mossy forest. I mean, yeah, it's where I stayed last night, but I was more focused on getting my tent up, and by the time I did that, it was pretty dark, so I've not had time to fully admire it, and I'm just so happy to be here right now because it's so nice. Look at everything. Oh my god. I know this I know this camera's not really doing it justice, as it never does, you know, unless you invest in thousands of pounds in a really good camera. It will not do a place like this any justice, and I don't have that kind of money, so I'm happy with my little GoPro Hero 7. But yeah, it's just started to kind of drizzle at the minute. It's raining a little bit, you might be able to hear it hitting my waterproof. But it's kind of refreshing. It was quite cold this morning when I woke up. It wasn't freezing, but chilly. My hands were numb, my toes were numb. But once you get packing away and moving, you do warm up. But just in a bit of as I was packing up and packing my tent away because my tent was cold. It made my hands cold again, and slowly warming up now. I'm getting there. Let me just see which way I'm going. Going this way. Oh, this is magical, honestly. What does it say? Public footpath. Wattenlath. 1.5 miles away. What does it say? There's a part of management. Cool. Wildlife management. Some rangers are carrying out. Oh, look at this. In case anyone's wondering how I find these hikes, like the Lakeland Heritage Trail, some people might know it, it might not be known to others. I go on the website LDWA, and that's where I found this one, or I've got the hiker app, and I just explore, look around the lakes and click on trails there. So I've done that a few times, but I think what I'm going to start doing soon is devising my own trails. So I've started to do that and map one out for me to do, I think, whenever it fits in, I guess. That'll hopefully be coming soon. That's going to be a fun one. A lot of fell walking in that one. So yeah, that's how I do it. So if you go on the website, I'll link it or put it on the screen so you can see what to type in. And like I said, use apps like All Trails. I've used All Trails in the past, or now I've moved on to Hiker because I feel like Hiker have more, and they have more of the lesser known trails on there, or they have, in my experience anyway. So they're the ones I recommend. I'm not affiliated with any of these groups or websites or apps, but I just thought I'd recommend them to people because, yeah, they're the ones I use and they really help me out. And that's what I used to navigate. Wow, look at this birch tree. It fell probably, I don't know, years ago. Look at all these growing up. That's awesome. Next to this big rock as well. I'll go check it out. Yeah, so you can see where it's fallen under the roots is years of moss growth and lichen growth underneath, which is so cool. So that I don't know when that would have fallen. I would have liked to have known just out of curiosity, but I don't think there's any way of telling. But look at that. It's growing little trees off its I was going to say dead trunk, but it's clearly not dead, is it? So cool. Bloody love nature. You can just start to see the 10 o'clock February sun burn through the clouds there. Patch of blue sky over there, and it was so misty down there before, and now as you can see the clouds are lifting. You can see the fells. So the part of the route that I'm doing right now is, I'll put it on the screen, it's the straight line and then a loop around Castle Crag. I'm on the straight line bit and I don't know which direction I'll go in on the loop, if I'll go around like the west or the east side of Castle Crag. I guess I'll just decide when I come to it. And then coming back up here, which is again the straight bit, because you go there, loop around, come back on yourself, it's just part of the trail. And that cafe that I was just in, I had this awesome sourdough hash brown and fried egg sandwich and breakfast roll, I think it was called. Well, it was just before midday, it's now just hit midday, so it's like a late breakfast lunch, because all I've had is a fruit and nut bar today, so I was getting a little bit hungry. I've got plenty of food, but I just fancied something like proper and warm. But anyway, that cafe, I've been there once before with my brother Sam. When we came to Borrowdale, it was when we did the haystacks. Yeah, it was the walk we did when we got the train to Windermere bus to Keswick and then walked over the Cat Bells, descended into Grange and Borrowdale, stopped at that cafe. I think we had some like brownies and coffee and cake or something to give us energy to do the rest of the walk up Honister Pass and to the Bothies. That video, I'll put in the title of that video now, that's been uploaded to my channel. If you want to check that out, it was an awesome trip. We stayed in 2 bothies. We stayed in Dub's Hut the first night, and then the next day descended into Buttermere and then walked back up. Then we stayed in One Scale Head Bothy. Both bothies were awesome, and it was a great trip. And then we went up Haystacks, descended back into Buttermere and went home. So if you want to check that video out, that's there. And we went to that cafe like I said. So yeah, just enjoying reliving those memories of really awesome walks and awesome times in the area. I want to live around here so bad. Oh, I love it. Look at that. That's a campsite apparently. I think it's out of season for camping in campsites. I mean, I don't think they're open in February. I mean, some might, this one might be. Seems pretty empty, but I know it's also the time of day, you know, 12 o'clock. Unless people are doing more than one day at a campsite, no one will be there at the minute. But I kind of hoped that, well, part of me kind of hoped that campsites were open around now, because even though I want to do wild camping and I love wild camping, there's always that kind of rebellious fear that I'm gonna get caught, and the worry does kind of stay with you. I'll talk about that more in a bit actually. When you start to question your own safety and thinking like, what if someone just walks by and they're not friendly, and these are legitimate fears to have, and yeah, they're not very nice. I didn't really have that much last night, a little bit, not really later on in the night, funnily enough. More not long after I pitched, because I knew there were a few people in the area, not close to me, but 10 minutes walk away, who I passed. I mean, they looked nice enough, they were couples, so probably fine, but especially as a woman doing something like this on your own, I got a lot of people asking me if I feel safe, and I say generally, yeah, I do feel safe, but you know, not all the time, unfortunately. And lately it's been more and more where I think it's just more of a mental thing, you know, my anxiety, like I mentioned yesterday, that kind of coming back, so that does play a part in it, and it started to pop up a bit more when I've been camping, whereas on the Cumbria Way I was fine, on the West Highland Way, fine while camping, didn't really feel anxious, to be honest. I felt very safe in my own tent, but like I said, there's some camping pods up there. Anyway, like I was saying, it does come up every now and then, more so lately, but that's just something that I've got to work on. So now when people ask, you know, do I feel unsafe doing this, I'll be honest and I'll say, you know, sometimes I do feel unsafe. Sometimes I feel it's all mental though, like it's my mind playing tricks on me. If there's a noise, you know, like someone brushing up against my tent, my mind goes into overdrive and starts overthinking. But that's not to discourage anyone from doing this, because everyone is different. People are going to feel uncomfortable camping alone, especially women on their own, and people are going to feel just fine, like I used to. So it's I think everyone should try it out. If that's my advice, like just give it a go. And even if you are scared, just try and remind yourself how proud you are of yourself doing this, doing something that scares you, and doing something that is quite scary, really. Camping alone in the woods in the middle of nowhere, you know. There's no houses or roads for miles sometimes. But I do often think, and this is what I genuinely believe, when you camp closer to towns, you are far more unsafe than if you camp out in the middle of nowhere. Oh my god, I've just realised I've just crossed this like river. I'll just cross it again because I've just realised that this is where I stayed on the fourth night. I think it was the third night of the Cumbria Way. This is where I stayed, where I camped. Oh, I think they're the rocks that I used for my fire. Again, it was leave no trace. I didn't scorch the earth. I used loads of rocks under it off the ground, and I'll add some pictures in. I can't believe it. This is where I was. It's quite busy around here right now. And this is where I saw all the runners come down that time. I'll add that in as well. Oh my god, I can't believe it. This is where I camped, on this bit. It's just, I've never made a note of it, like where it was, and I've just thought, hang on, I recognise this. And I looked on my phone on the image location of where I took the pictures, and it's, yeah, right there. Because I thought I recognised that bridge and the one down there that I just passed, and this signpost up here, and obviously the river. Wow. So now I'm heading up Castle Crag. I can go left or right. I think I'll go left and I'll come back up the higher bit. Yeah, I'll do that. Because this is the way, this left bit, that I came down on the Cumbria Way, so I'll have good memories recognising that part. This bench as well, I remember this bench. I remember just coming from, because that was the day I did the Stake Pass and that whole valley in the Langdales. There was no signal, and people were getting worried because it had been about 9-10 hours since I'd spoken to them. So I remember walking up this way and then sitting on this bench saying thank you to John Seabury for letting me use his bench. I was like, oh, thanks John. And as soon as I did that, and as soon as I sat down, my phone pinged with loads of messages and missed calls from my family. So I got signal as soon as I said that and sat down, which was kind of a magical moment. So how awesome. This wasn't even intended to be like walking part of the Cumbria Way, it just happened to be. Which is so cool. But yeah, anyway, I love this area. I'm so doing the Cumbria Way again. So many amazing memories. Thing is, I'd like to do it the opposite way, so from Carlisle to Ulverston, because last time I did northbound to Ulverston to Carlisle, but a part of me's like, I don't know, I don't want to relive it the same way that I did it. But the only thing I didn't like about it was finishing that amazing walk in Carlisle, actually in Dalston it was, which wasn't not a nice place, so that kind of, you know, didn't bum me out, but it did a bit. So anyway, what I'm saying is I want to do the Cumbria Way again, and I don't know if it'll be northbound or southbound this time, but I'm definitely doing it again. Maybe on my own, maybe with my brother, maybe with Cameron, my boyfriend, or whoever. I'll see. Oh wow, oh, this is so cool. Sorry, I keep going on about it. It just feels awesome to just, like I said, relive it. I'm getting all giddy. And this is where I rejoined the path on the Cumbria Way again, sorry. Again, just reliving it. I joined the path because coming out of that valley, slightly changed. I walked on, as you're walking this way, the left hand side of the river, as opposed to the right hand side coming out of the valley with the Langdales. And at some point it crossed over and I didn't check because I had no signal, and I was just whatever. I was kind of winging it because I knew what direction I was going in. I knew I was going towards Keswick and Borrowdale, and then when I was able to check my map down there, because the GPS finally worked, that was before I started bringing paper maps with me, which I do now. I was able to cross that river down there. It was shallow enough. I was able to cross the river, and I'll put the footage in of me coming up this way here and rejoining the path. Oh, back on the Cumbria Way. Anyway, enough of that now. I think that's Castle Crag up there. Yeah, it's only about 20 to 1, so I've got plenty of time today to do that. I have decided I am definitely stopping in Grange. I'll figure out a place, whether it's wild camping, a campsite, or I might even check Airbnb, see if there's anywhere cheap around, you know, just why not? So I'm happy with either way. If I end up wild camping, whatever, campsite, staying in an actual building, like either. Happy with anything as long as it's around here. Oh wow, what's this? It's like a little cave. Oh my god. Just oh, the drip in it sounded like very fast footsteps and it scared me a little bit. This is really cool. Quite creepy. Wow. Look at that moss drip in it. Yeah, like that. That's awesome. I know I'm whispering. Trying to be sneaky. Oh, wow. I'm so gonna get dripped on, but it's fine. Oh, this is cool. Sorry for the wind. Down there, Borrowdale, Rothwaite, and through the valley. That's part of the Cumbria Way, so the Cumbria Way comes through there and where I've just come from. Sorry, it's really windy. I was saying behind those fells, part of the Cumbria Way, the Langdales, that big valley I was on about with no signal, Stake Pass, all over there. It was quite a barren valley, if I remember correctly. Could have been because of the season, everything looked brown. It was April, so it's still like, it was spring, but you know, everything was kind of like, there was a lot of bracken, no trees actually until right at the very end, coming into Borrowdale and everything. You can see how many people have used this route as a handle. Look how worn and smooth it is compared to the rest of it. Just came around this corner to talk out of the wind a bit. I remember, and I'll put the name of the video now because I've not made it or uploaded it yet. When I stayed in Borrowdale at the youth hostel, I was up there and I remember being on that path but not coming this far because I remember seeing Derwentwater. Can't see it from this angle, but straight down that path you could see a bit of it, and I thought, oh, I wonder if the way back will take me, you know, around there, get a view and all the way back around, but I realised how long of a walk that would be. wonder what that's for. Loads of these bits of slate sticking up all over. So just come from all the way up there, down that way, zigzag down, following a path, which obviously it sounds obvious, but I'm glad I did, because my map said to come straight down and descend that way. So either it was a fault, or the person actually did come down that way, which is mad and very dangerous, especially with a bag as big as this. Like, I suppose you could say, yeah, you could just slide down slowly, but with a bag as big as mine, you will fall, you'll tumble. So I was just like, nah, I'm not going to blindly follow the map. I'm going to go down the safest route, the route that people use. So anyway, there's Derwentwater. I don't know if you can see. And now I'm back on the path that I was on before. As you can see, I went that way and I've come back that way. So yeah, that's the patch where I camped on the Cumbria Way, like I pointed out before. Yeah, I'm about half an hour from Grange, I think. So yeah, I'll have to figure out what I'm doing for food, because I'm so hungry. I'm hoping I can eat at a pub restaurant, but if not, if they're not taking non-guest bookings, or if they're not doing food or too full or whatever, I've got food, you know, I can cook my own food. But I so want like a proper meal. So hungry. That is used up so much energy. Honestly, I've just eaten 2 oat bars, so that was amazing. The plan for tonight, so I've actually booked an Airbnb, which is quite uncommon for me to do on these walks, but I thought I'd have a look from what I was saying earlier, and I found one for fairly cheap, for like 60 quid, and it's just like a nice double room with some nice views in Grange, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I've booked that. Check-in's at about 5:30, so it's now 3:30, so check-in's in about 2 hours. Like I said, I'm half an hour away, so I've got plenty of time to do whatever, get some food sorted. So yeah, that's the plan. So on that path there is, as you can see, that's where I came earlier, from up there, from Grange, and the house is just there. So thought I'd go this way though, because I'm pretty sure this is the way I came on the Cumbria way, and I just kind of want to relive it, because I remember this bit and I remember thinking like, whoa, I love it around here so much, this is amazing. So I just want to do that little route. It takes me, you know, to Grange, just goes around a bit, so it's a little bit extra, but not much. It'll be worth it, I'm sure. Yeah, this is how I remember it, and it was just under this tree where a sheep was panting, and I was like, oh god, something's up with it. So I didn't film that bit because I thought if it is severely ill, it can make, you know, it might upset some people, it's not right to film. But I did call, because there was no one around on the farm at that time, so I did call them when I was further up there and let them know, but they said they already know about it and they're handling it. So I just walked past a field of sheep, and I'm just wondering if they're yours, because one of them was like, it looked like it couldn't breathe. Or if he knows who the sheep are.
Outside the farm here?
It's just outside the farm, yeah. It's
my husband knows about it actually.
That was when I was last here. It was very sunny. It was yeah, I think it was like mid-April, late April maybe, when I walked it, so it was quite a hot day actually. And I got sunburn from the day before while on a steak pass on the back of my legs. But yeah, I love that smell. Oh wow, proper farm smell, so nice. I just called the only pub that's open in Grange. It's the Borrowdale Gates Hotel, just to see if they're doing food for non-guests, and they said they've closed the kitchen early today because of how busy it got, I don't know. So I was like, okay, I'll just come in for like a sit down and maybe a drink or something, a pint or two, because I need to kill time really, and I'm getting so tired, my legs are like, I'm so drained. So I've got food, I've got loads to snack on, I've got a tub of salad and loads of fruit and nut bars and flapjacks, so that'll be my tea tonight, which is fine. I'm happy with that. Only 20 to 4 and I'm about maybe 10-15 minutes away, so chilling there for a bit, and then when it comes to about 5:30ish I'll check into the place I'm staying. I'm sure that'll be lovely, so really looking forward to tonight, even though I love, oh wow, that's like a interesting cloud. Wow, it's like a hollow love heart or something. So I'm sure tonight will be nice, even though I love camping and I love wild camping. Sometimes it is just nice to know you don't have to put up a tent. Most of the time I absolutely love it, and yeah, because the appeal of camping is really strong with me. So but yeah, it'd be good to have a bed, and even though I've only been out here for like one night, it's like I'm talking like I've been hiking for a week. Oh, it'd be good to have a bed. But I'm sure a lot of you will understand. Borrowdale Gates Hotel is just there. I'm just making my way down here on this I suppose you could call it a path. It's marking the grass. And the place I'm staying, I was given the what 3 words behind those trees around there, so it's not far at all really. It's about a 5-minute walk, I'd say, if that, from the hotel. So I can just chill there for a couple hours and have a pint or two and just rest my legs really. I'm trying to find my way out of this field really. I think there's a way out this way. There must be, people have walked here clearly. I believe you can just see the roof there. That's the cottage I'm staying tonight, so I'll be heading there later. And then there's the Borrowdale Gates Hotel. So at this point I'm showing you guys what it looks like inside the Borrowdale Gates Hotel. By the inside, I don't mean the rooms obviously because I'm not staying there, but really the lounge and hallways, as you can see, because I think the lounge especially, I mean the hallways are nothing special, but the lounges is quite nice, nicely decorated, and obviously lovely views of the surrounding area of Borrowdale.
Yes, we fancy a store. Yeah, you said.
It's next door, just that one.
Yeah.
So, and I could replace it, but you like it.
It's SUV, yeah. So I sent
What is it, the black bear?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent him a message going. So I'm just going to check it out.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See you again.
See you again.
Just arrived and the host is so sweet. She's so lovely. She made me feel so welcome, gave me a tour. So I'm speaking very quietly because I don't want to be overheard. This is the room. It's so sweet. Oh my god, it looks so comfy. And a little TV there. She's explained controls and everything, and I can't wait to see the view tomorrow and just about see the silhouettes of the hills. Oh my god. So I'm just going to show the rest of the place. Well, I just meant upstairs, but you know. Yeah, it's dead cute. I love it. So cozy.
moment that you create where everything is unrealistically perfect and in time and preconceived and you know, a sort of 12-year-old kid trying to hit the drum.
He was a pre-Socrates?
Pre-Socratic?
Yeah.
Don't know me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you knew everything.
I pretend to know.
Okay.
Because nothing shines unless it burns. I would love just to sort of in my own private way. We try to shine good.
Oh my god, I just want to talk about how awesome last night was, or the whole of yesterday really. So I had to start. I got up, obviously set off walking and walked down and along there. You can just see that mound sticking up in the middle is Castle Crag, and I went all the way to the top of that and down again, and oh my god, that whole descent down was incredible. It was so beautiful. I was like walking through this like what felt like a big gorge, and it was like, oh, anyway, you saw it on the video, so again it can only do so much justice, but oh, it was so good. It was so good. So came down and I'd booked that Airbnb, so I was like, okay, got a place for tonight, got a destination, I'm all good. And I got into the town, like I said, about 2 hours before check-in. So I went to the Borrowdale Gate Hotel and I stopped there for a couple of pints. Oh my god, so expensive. Oh my god, but because they started a tab and they didn't have prices there because it was like a dead fancy place. I think a pint of lager was like $6.50, a half was $3.50, which I say it's dead expensive. It's I suppose if you compare it to London prices, it's not, but if you compare it to like anywhere else in the UK, like in the north, then it's like yeah, it's a bit expensive. And a packet of crisps was like $2.50. Got to the place, checked in, spoke to the host a bit. She was lovely. She's called Evie, and went up to the room. The room was so cozy. Got a double bed all to myself. It was luxury. And watched some TV, wind down, had something to eat because I'd only really had a packet of crisps at the Borrowdale Gates Hotel. Had a really good night's sleep. The sound of like the owls outside was amazing. So woke up, beautiful sunrise. As you can see, it's a bit cloudy, but the sunrise was nice and pink and purple. But then I fell back asleep because I was like, I'm so cozy. Woke up about 7:30 and got ready. Checkout was 10 o'clock. so I was ready to go at 9:30, and she asked me if I wanted breakfast, and I was like, oh well, I wasn't expecting breakfast, but yeah, I guess so. I was dead like awkward about it, but I was just like, oh, that'd be really nice, but if that's okay. And she was like, yeah, of course. Do you want fried eggs? And I said, oh my god, yes please, that'd be amazing. I was just gonna have a couple of cereal bars until I got to Portinscale, which is a few hours away, and then eat some in there. So I was just like, oh my god. So she sat me down at the table, a really cute kitchen area, and she gave me loads of cereal to choose from as well. So I had muesli, she made fried eggs on bagels, I had black coffee. It was perfect. I don't know why I'm not moving, by the way. I've just been stood here for about 4 minutes nearly. Oh, but it was so good. So yeah, we just had a really nice chat. She was absolutely lovely, and she had 3 dogs, and they were really awesome as well. They were adorable, and the pheasant outside the window, loads of birds. I was just honestly transfixed by it. I was like, oh my god, there's a pheasant just chilling. There's like 10 robins and sparrows and chaffinch, and yeah, and she's like, yeah, there's loads of them around here. So lucky. God, I say this every time, but I would give anything to live in a place like this. Just somewhere in the lakes with views and wildlife and walks, nature. Anyway, so the plan is to obviously head to Keswick along Derwentwater. I've just been on the phone to my mum because I've just got a signal to call her, and she's actually going to come up and meet me today. So whether we go back home today after my walk's finished, because today's the last day of my of the stretch to Keswick, either we're going to go home, or she's going to take me home, drive me and drop me off, or we're going to maybe spend another night in the lakes if I find a place. So that's an option, and that'd be lovely. I'd love that. So see what happens. But yeah, I'm dead excited. I'll still stop in Portinscale for lunch because again, that's like 2-3 hours away. Here's the south head of Derwentwater, and I can see the area I camped on the first night. Sorry, I'll try and zoom in post-production. Just on that kind of cliff ledge there. I didn't camp near the cliff ledge, obviously, a bit further back, but I could see all this from pretty much bird's eye view, nearly. I could see that hotel down there, and that one, I think I was just above that one actually, so yeah, I think I was just up there. I can't believe how close that robin got to me then. It all but flew on me, really. But unfortunately, a dog came around the corner, so it ran away, flew away. It was so cute. Oh my god, that was such a nice surprise, honestly. Magical.
Blue dew, blue moon, kind of mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking bullshit. It's hard to see you when your eyes look dull. Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Blue dew, bad mood, sort of witty and jaded, but let's not talk about you. Your coyote song on a rerun. Are you hound dog tired singing all night long? Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue.
So last night I met up with my mum in Portinscale and we walked the last mile to Keswick together, which was lovely. Spent a bit of time in Keswick, looked around the market, some shops, bought a few things. You know, I got this nice hiking jacket. It's a weird fish one and it's quite cute. And yeah, so it was really lovely to do that. Then we walked back from Keswick to Portinscale, so I did an extra mile. We thought, oh, should we spend the night in the lakes? And we're like, yeah, instead of, you know, going back home. So we looked on, I think it was like booking.com, and we found this place and it's dead cute, and it was, I think, something like really cheap, like £80 for the night for both of us. We couldn't get a twin room, but you know, it's fine, double bed's fine. That included breakfast, which was really good. That was lovely. Just had that. We're about to leave and check out in a bit. Checkout's in 20 minutes, just packing away my things. And yeah, it's just a really nice place. So today we're going to go to Ullswater. We're going to spend a bit of time in the lakes and make the most of it, and then she's going to drop me off home. And yeah, that's everything. So excited. It's been a lovely day. It's been a lovely past few days. Really enjoyed myself.